Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. You who are watching this video right now, know one thing. It's not a coincidence. There are words that you needed to hear today, because Allah wants to speak to your heart. And I promise you, at the end of this video, I will say a special prayer just for you. A profound invocation for your life to change, and for your patience to be rewarded. Stay strong until the end. You've been through a lot. Perhaps no one sees it, but Allah has missed nothing. Your nightly tears, your silence in pain, the strength you find when everything inside you wants to give up. These are not just trials. It was a preparation. And today, I have come to tell you something important. Something divine. Something that only a heart chosen by Allah can understand. You are just a few steps away from experiencing a surprise so great, so unexpected, that you cannot help but collapse in sujood. You prayed for a way out. Allah is preparing a victory. You asked for relief. He is preparing a transformation. You asked for a solution. He will open a path for you that you have not even imagined. This is not just a simple answer, it is a sacred upheaval. Do you know why? Because you stood firm when everything was falling apart. Because you remained standing when everyone else was moving away. Because you continued to call upon Him when your soul cried out for silence. Because you are one of those whom Allah has chosen for gifts that He does not distribute to everyone. But listen carefully. The final test is often just before the granting of the wish. This is where Satan tries to make you believe it's over. He whispers that you're forgotten, that nothing will change, that your prayers have not been heard. But these are lies, illusions, distractions. Because while you were suffering, Allah was writing something enormous for you. Something so beautiful that first you had to be purified, elevated, hidden, refined. And now, He is ready. And so are you. What you will experience next will exceed anything you dared to ask for. Stay until the end. This message is not just a video. Perhaps this is the signal that your time has come. And I will stay with you until the last second to prepare you for it, step by step. And in the end, I will pray that you will be one of those whom Allah will surprise with His light and greatness. Prepare your heart. Something is going to happen. You know? It is never in easy times that the greatness of Allah is revealed. It is always in the moments when you think everything is over, when the way out seems blocked, when the walls are closing in. It is at that moment that Allah decides to overturn everything. But before that happens, you have to pass the last test. The one that seems unbearable. The one that makes even the strongest hearts doubt. And you felt it, haven't you? This strange fatigue that isn't in the body, but in the soul. This feeling that even your invocations no longer have the same strength. You pray, you cry, but you no longer feel anything. You move forward, but each step is painful. You even thought that perhaps Allah was no longer listening to you. But let me tell you a truth that can change your life. Allah's silence is never rejection. It is a silent building of your victory. Look at the life of Prophet Ayub. Peace and blessings of Allah be upon him. He lost everything, health, family, wealth, and despite years of pain, he continued to supplicate, not with complaint but with sublime dignity. He said, "Evil has touched me, and you are the most merciful of the merciful." Surat Al-Anbiya 21:83. And what did Allah do? He reversed his entire history with a single gesture. He did not give him back what he had. He gave her much more. You too are living this moment, this feeling that everything is on hold. But it is not an empty pause. It is a sacred phase where Allah brings you closer without you seeing Him. Every time you held back from exploding, Allah saw it. Every time you smiled while hiding your pain, Allah counted it. Every time you said, Alhamdulillah, in the middle of a storm, the sky vibrated for you. The ultimate test is the one that breaks the ego, purifies the intention, and empties the soul of everything that is not Allah. And when it is finished, a light that nothing can stop descends into your life. But be careful. This final test is also the moment when many give up. They were so close to having their dua granted, so close to that immense door that Allah was about to open, but they doubted. They thought it was over. And it was this doubt that pushed everything back. So you don't give up. You are too close, you are too far gone. There is no time to turn back. If you knew what Allah is putting in place for you, you would burst into tears of gratitude before even receiving it. It's not that you weren't ready. It's that what Allah intended for you was too big to be given away in haste. What He has prepared is not like what you had imagined. It is not just an answer, it is an elevation, a healing, a light. He's waiting for your heart to be sufficiently detached from this lower world, to be able to give you what no one can ever take away from you. Keep going. Hold on. There's one more step. And it's after that one that the unexpected will hit you with such intensity that you will finally understand why you waited so long. You may be wondering why so many things have collapsed around you, why some friends have left without explanation, why some doors have closed on you when you needed them most, why, despite your efforts, you haven't received any outward signs of change. But have you considered that it wasn't abandonment, but sacred isolation? Yes. A divinely orchestrated isolation, a setting aside not to punish you, but to prepare you for elevation. When Allah wants to elevate you, He begins by separating yourself from anything that could hold you back. He gently pulls you away from what distracts you. He frees you from what weighs you down. He removes you from the noise so you can finally hear His voice. Remember the prophets. Before every mission, before every miracle, before every spiritual blossoming, there was a period of isolation. Musa, alayhi salam, was taken away into the desert. The Prophet Muhammad isolated himself in the cave of Hira. Even Maryam, alayha salam, when she was chosen to carry Isa, was isolated, alone, in a remote place. Because it is in solitude that purity settles, that connection is strengthened, that the soul is transformed. And you went through it. You felt the world closing in, the voices fading away. All you had was your breath and Allah. It wasn't a coincidence. It was an imposed meeting with your Lord. He wanted you to hear Him without intermediary, to seek Him without distraction, to find yourself alone with the one who will never abandon you. But let's be honest, isolation hurts. It uproots, it shakes, it makes you doubt yourself. It pushes you to look within yourself and confront truths you would have wanted to run away from. Yet, it is this precise moment that shapes exceptional beings. You cannot be elevated if you are too attached to what is low. Allah does not put His light into a cluttered heart. So He empties you, He removes it, He withdraws. And every loss, every estrangement, every silence was an act of love to purify you. You know what's beautiful? Once this process is complete, Allah makes you visible again, but differently. This time, you will not be seen as before. You will be respected without even speaking. You will attract blessings without seeking them. You will walk in places where you were not expected. Why? Because you have been transformed into the shadows. Whoever Allah wishes to expose to His light, He first covers him with His silence. And now, look at yourself. You are no longer the same person you were at the beginning of your ordeal. You are deeper, more attentive, more humble, more sincere. This is the fruit of isolation. What you are experiencing is not forgetting, but an invitation to a greatness you do not yet know. You think you've been left out, when in truth, you were set apart. And soon, those who had forgotten you will see you shine. Not with the light of the world, but with the one that Allah places in the hearts He has prepared in secret. There are supplications you made with tears, broken words, signs that no one heard, except Allah. You may not have even finished your sentence sometimes. You just raised your hands saying, Ya Allah, do something. And you think He has forgotten you? No. The truth is that your request was heard from the first second. But what He has prepared in response is so much bigger than you imagined, that it took time. He didn't tell you no. He simply said, not like you think, and not on the scale you think. You asked for temporary relief. He wants to give you permanent deliverance. You asked for a job. He wants to give you a mission. You asked for healing. He wants to lift you up through this pain so you never return to it. Because Allah does not respond to the extent of our imagination. He responds to the measure of His greatness. Call upon me and I will answer you. Surah Ghafir 40:60. This verse has no limit, no condition of greatness, no ceiling. When Allah promises an answer, He is not talking about a simple yes. He speaks of a return, a manifestation, a specific event that He is triggering in your visible world. And that moment is approaching. You know what's even more beautiful? He even answers what you didn't have the courage to ask Him. Did you think that this dream was too lofty for you? Allah thought of it before you. Did you think that you did not deserve a glorious outcome? Allah knows exactly what you're worth when no one else sees it. And sometimes, when He delays, it is only so that the answer transforms you as much as the question has shaped you. He won't give you a simple way out. He will create for you a new landscape. One day you will see a solution, an opening, a miracle appear before you, and you will say to yourself, but I didn't even ask for something that big. And it is there that Allah will say to you silently, I know you better than you know yourself. You ask with human limitations. You just want to be appeased, just to be understood, just to be saved. But Allah, He will settle into permanent peace. He wants you to finally understand that you weren't waiting for an answer. You are maturing to bear a gift that few can receive. So stop doubting, stop lowering your expectations. Stop thinking you're dreaming too big. You're not dreaming too big. You're dreaming too small for the one who holds the keys to the universe. And if He allowed you to survive all these seasons of waiting, pain and silence, it's not to give you just a happy ending. It's for you to give you a taste of happiness that will follow you into the afterlife. You may not know it yet, but some things in your life right now are not normal. They are not random, nor are they coincidences. There are signs around you, little clues that something huge is about to emerge. But these signs do not always look like dazzling blessings. On the contrary, they often take the form of subtle changes, inner movements, deep silences. For Allah, before surprising you in matter, prepares you internally. And one of the first signs is this sudden peace you feel, this strange calm, this serenity that invades you, even though nothing has changed on the outside. You should be worried, but you're not. You should be devastated, but you're standing. You should be crying, but there's a light beginning to filter into your heart. It's not madness, nor is it recklessness. It is Allah who soothes your soul before the answer. It is through the remembrance of Allah that hearts find tranquility. Surah Ar-Ra'd 13:28. Another sign is when obstacles stop hurting. They are still there, but you no longer react as before. You have understood that there is a meaning behind all this. You no longer fight Allah in His decrees, you gently surrender to His wisdom. And this acceptance is proof that your release is near. Allah does not leave a soul in spiritual pain when it has reached this level of trust. Then there are those strange coincidences. That person who calls you at just the right moment. That sentence you hear as a message. That verse you read that speaks to you like never before. The dream you have that stays etched in your heart. These little details are not insignificant. They are hints, divines, sweet reminders from Allah. I am here, and I am acting. Another sign that divine surprise is approaching is when the world begins to close in around you. You lose opportunities. Relationships are cut off. Paths are closed. This might seem like a misfortune, but it is often proof that Allah wants you to depend only on Him. He removes the human support so you can see that your help will only come from heaven. And sometimes, one of the strongest signs is when your soul becomes impatient. But with a strange impatience. It's not despair. It's as if your heart sensed something. You don't know what. But you know you haven't gone through all this for nothing. This pressure, this feeling of this will change soon, is Allah activating your mind to prepare you for receiving. For when the light of Allah descends, it never surprises you without warning you internally. There is even a hadith from the Prophet that says that sometimes fulfillment is just a breath away, just past the point where you think you'll give up, and perhaps you are at that breath, at that last drop of patience, at that last sigh, and then a change, an upheaval, a divine response. So open your eyes. Listen to the invisible movements around you. Be attentive to the vibrations of your heart. For those who are truly guided by Allah feel the signs long before the door opens. You feel something approaching. You've understood it through the signs, through that calm that precedes the light. But now you might be wondering, how do I prepare? What should I do to ensure this divine surprise fully touches me? Because yes, the blessing is near, but the heart that receives it must be ready. The first step is to renew your intention. Return to Allah with fresh sincerity. Say to Him, in your heart, "O Allah, I don't just want your gifts. I want you." For it is not the answer that will save you. It is your connection with the one who answers. Allah loves those servants who seek Him for Himself, not just for what He gives. It is by putting your love for Allah above your expectations that you open doors that no one can close. Afterwards, keep your heart clean. Forgiveness, inner peace, letting go of grudges. All these are part of spiritual cleansing. For Allah does not shed His light on a heart filled with bitterness. If you want Him to place His surprise in your life, make your heart pure, humble and open land. Then, intensify your prayer. Not just gestures, but presence. Wake up a little earlier. Speak to Him a little more deeply. Cry if you must. Because surprise does not descend into carelessness. It touches those who call upon Him like thirsty people in a desert. Do you want your life to change? Start by changing your rhythm with the Quran. Even one verse a day, but with heart. Even for a few minutes, but with silence. You will see that the more you immerse yourself in it, the more your soul synchronizes with it, the invisible plans of Allah. But there is something else, and it is essential. Don't doubt. Doubt is a silent poison. It makes you believe that Allah has forgotten you, when He is simply writing a better script. When Shaitan whispers to you that you deserve nothing, remember that your Lord is Ar-Rahman, not a cold accountant. He gives even to those who have asked for nothing. So imagine what He has in store for those who wait for Him with love. And don't forget, patience is not passive. It is active, it is alive. It is the conscious choice to believe. even when you see nothing. And it is this faith, invisible to the eyes of the world, which attracts the most powerful responses. Finally, surround yourself with light. Whether it's through reminders, people who bring you closer to Allah, or even the silence that allows for reflection. Because you can't welcome a divine surprise if your environment is filled with noise and negativity. You must protect your atmosphere, keep your spiritual space clear so that the unexpected of Allah descends there safely. What you expect will happen, but the best way to make it happen is to prepare for it as if it were tomorrow. Don't be found sleeping when the blessing falls. Be awake, be aligned, be ready. For what is coming is heavier than you think and greater than you can bear without preparation. And Allah does not give such gifts to those who live distractedly. He gives it to those who wait for Him actively, with love, with faith, and with dignity. Now that you have heard it all, that you have gone through this journey word by word, heart by heart, let this truth sink deep into you. Allah has never stopped seeing you. He has never stopped listening to you. And most importantly, He has never stopped planning your miracle. Everything you've been through, every delay, every silence, every closing of a door, every lonely night was not a rejection. It was a divine repositioning, a heavenly readjustment so that you were exactly where you were. The surprise of Allah will find you. And trust me, it will find you. In a sudden way, in a gentle way, in a dazzling way. And you'll understand why it had to take time. You will realize that if Allah had given you what you wanted when you wanted it, you would have missed something even bigger. Because what He has prepared for you is not a simple answer. It's a manifestation of His majesty in your life. So now breathe. Release that weight. You did your part. You held on. You made it to the end. And because you went all the way, Allah will come to you in a way you have never known. And now, as promised at the very beginning, I'm going to make a special summons, sincere and deep, for you who are still listening to these words. O Allah, O you who hear the silences, O you who answer broken hearts even before they dare to speak, I ask you by your name, Al-Karim, the generous, by your name, Al-Fattah, he who opens what seemed closed, by your name, Al-Alim, he who knows what we do not say. Ya Rab, surprise your servant. This person who is looking now, surprise her with a deliverance beyond her imagination. Light his way, heal his pains, purify his heart, free his soul. Give her what she asked for, and give her even more than she expected. Give him a clear sign, a clear answer, something that will make his heart fall into sujood in gratitude. Ya Allah, let her know that she has not never been forgotten. Place certainty in his heart. Drive away from her doubt, despair, fear. Surround her with light, peace, and unwavering faith. And when your decree comes, may it be sweeter than she dreamed. Amen, O Lord of peace. Keep this prayer with you. Recite it when your heart aches. Return to it when you feel silence. And remember, Allah's silence is never empty. It is full of promises. And very soon, this silence will become your most beautiful memory.